So Fox News put up an article. It says here, did CNN commit a crime? Cruz suggests warning to Reddit user poses legal problem. So, here we have, by the way, Fox News is the only outlet I could find saying anything about this. I couldn't find anyone else saying anything. There's just a total media, there's just a total blackout. You can't find anyone saying anything about this when it comes to the media. Now what you do see, if you're on Twitter, like I am, you see journalists, so-called journalists, defending CNN. And what's the guy? Andrew Kaczynski? K-File? I call him Mob Boss Andrew because he's operating like a mob boss right now. Who does that? Who just... I mean, honestly, think about it. I mean, he's operating like a mob boss. He goes to some random kid online, 15-year-old kid. He claimed he's 40, which is a total lie. He goes to some random kid online who made an edgy, not even an edgy GIF, just a GIF. It's WWE. Calm yourself. He made a not really edgy GIF, put it up on Reddit. This guy goes after him. And it's like he's like a total mob boss. He goes after him like, hey, you're gonna have to take that down, or else I'm gonna have to, bad things are gonna happen if you don't put up that apology. You know what I mean? You gotta take down all your posts. You're gonna put up an apology, and if you take down that apology, and if you start putting up offensive posts again, well, there's gonna be a problem. That was what they said in the article. In the original CNN article, they literally just said like, oh yeah. We didn't publish his identity because he apologized, but we reserve the right to if that changes. So that's clearly a threat. But then they go on, and then they're claiming, oh no, there was no threat. There's no threat. He did it. He apologized because he wanted to. He wanted to apologize. That's why he apologized, right? Come on. I mean, come on. That's their defense. That's their little spin. So you're contradicting yourself. Because your article said, oh yeah, he apologized and he took down his posts, but if that changes, when we reserve the right to publish his identity. That's literally what the article said. That's not me putting a spin on it. That's literally what they said in the article. And now they're going back on it and they're saying, no. We didn't threaten him. No. He apologized because he just wanted to apologize. He genuinely felt bad and he apologized to us, right? That's obviously what happened, right? Oh my god, it's so disgusting. How can anyone defend this? That's what I want to know. How can I go on Twitter and I find Republicans like Joe Scarborough. Joe Scarborough, by the way, is an absolute lunatic. Trump calls him Psycho Joe. I mean, Psycho Joe. What a mess. I mean, honestly, this guy calls himself a Republican and he's cheering on CNN doing this. Oh my god. Oh. How do you do that? Joe, how do you do that? Joe, how can you defend doing that? How can you defend that? Joe, how can anyone defend this? I did a little interesting dig, right? And by dig, I mean I went into Andrew Kaczynski, Mob Boss Andrew's Twitter page, and I looked at his liked tweets, and there was a whole bunch of tweets from journalists and stuff like that, so-called journalists, praising him and saying, "Oh my God, this is the journalism that we need. This is amazing. This is real journalism here. Good work, Andrew." How do you say that? How can you defend that? How can you say that? These people are disgusting. These people are sick. Journalists are the scummiest people you'll ever find. Oh my God. And they wonder why everyone hates them. Who was it that came out with the little thing, their little scummy article, where they said, "Oh, we have pro-journalists and anti-journalists." And the anti-journalists, well, they hate us because, they just hate journalism in general, right? That's what they hate. No, we hate you because you're scummy, and you do things like this, and then you defend it, and then you have your friends defend you. And then you have the entire media completely silent. You have the entire media complete blackout. absolutely no coverage whatsoever. CNN, they put the original article out, and they never bothered to, like, make a follow-up article. They couldn't even defend themselves, right? They couldn't... I wanted them to put out, like, an apology or something like that. No. They couldn't do an apology. They couldn't even put up another article defending themselves, which I thought they might do, because they definitely weren't going to put up an apology. But they didn't even do that. Instead, you know what they did? They put up that original article, like, the night before. And then randomly, like, in the evening, the day after it was originally posted, they retweeted it. They tweeted the same story again. Like, they're proud of it. Like this is their pride. They put it up on their front page. Breaking news! We found the identity of the man who made the Trump gif. Oh. How do you defend that? How do you defend that? CNN is criminal news network. That's really what it is. It's like a mafia. I mean, the whole media, that's what I've discovered. I mean, I already kind of knew deep down inside that the media is a bit of a mafia, but this just confirmed it. Anyone who had any doubts that the media is just a total mafia, well, this just proves it. I mean, they all work together. If anyone else did what these people did, they'd be in jail. You're gonna go and track down a 15-year-old kid and harass him and threaten him online? If anyone else did that, they'd be in jail right now. But no, because it was a journalist who did it, so they have protections. Journalists can do whatever the hell they want. No consequences. That's why when Trump comes out and he says we need to open up the libel laws, there's such a backlash. Because journalists have all these special protections. We're meant to have equality under the law. Whatever happened to that? You're the same people who always yell and screech about equality all the time, right? That's your big thing. Equality is like a god to you. What about equality under the law? What about treating people equally under the law? Just because you're journalists doesn't mean that you can do things that would land other people in jail. Anyone else did this, it would be stalking, it would be harassment, it would be a big lawsuit, it would be jail time. But no, CNN does it, and it's good journalism. Oh, this is the journalism that we need in our lives. Oh yes, good work CNN, good work, good journalism right there. It's so sick. Journalists are so sick. Journalists are the absolute worst, the absolute lowest form of life you'll ever see in your life. And I notice now that I haven't even mentioned anything in the article, because I have so much to say about this. But I mean, really, I mean, what is there? They say that the line is being misinterpreted, and they're saying, how can they say any of this stuff? They go on, they try and say that he's 40, and then they defend people. Like Joe Scarborough, right? He tweeted out his support. He quoted a tweet that was like someone saying, "Oh, we're standing." They act like they're taking like a moral stand against anonymity online. That's like their whole thing. They hate that. Like I noticed this, right? And I mean, it's been a thing in the past, but now it just really has become a major issue to them, right? They always sort of hated online anonymity because God knows why. I don't know why. I mean, I do kind of know why, because they want to just... Because here's the thing. When you're on the left and when you're a liberal, all you know is censorship. That's all you know. Like, you don't know how to actually speak because you probably have mild autism. You don't know how to debate. You don't know how to speak. So, all you know how to do is just silence and censor. Right? I had this happen to me yesterday. Because people always say to me, right? And not people on here, but people that I know. They say, "Oh, you know, all you gotta do, you just gotta have a conversation. You know, you just gotta, as long as you just take part in civil discussion, well then you'll realize that they're just normal people, and you'll get to like them. You'll stop being so angry with them all the time." Right? People say that. I try to have discussions. You know what I get? I get 2 blocks, and I get 2 other people who report me to Twitter and get my account locked for 12 hours. And not only that, they lock my account for 12 hours, and then I go back on, and then they make me give them my phone number. What is that? I go on Twitter, and it's like, oh yeah, well, your account, we need you to verify your phone number. If you don't verify your phone number, well, you're locked out of your account. Sorry. Why do you want my phone number, you fucking stalkers? What do you people want? They hate anonymity. They hate that. And it just goes back to, like, this whole idea that, to me, the Democratic Party is the party of big tech companies. And I will get to that later on. Big tech companies in the Democratic Party. But they really are, because big tech companies also hate anonymity. I mean, they really do. I mean, here you have Twitter. Twitter's policies, right? Like, you can't have any anonymity at all. You have to give them your email, your phone number, all this personal information, your birthday. I mean, you can just lie about your birthday, but I mean, it's creepy. Why do you want all this information about me? Because they're creepy, and they always talk about, you know, like, they always talk about the book 1984, right? I mean, how scared they always talk about 1984. They're the ones who despise anonymity online, which is in the first. By the way, okay, anonymity was what made the internet such a special place to begin with, right? Because it was, to everyone, when it first came out, you know, long ago, that was like the big draw. Was like, oh, you can you can be online, and you can be like whoever you really want to be. That's like the whole thing. Like, you can say whatever you want without having to worry about any consequences. It's like, it was like the most American thing, because you could just say things and not have to worry about being censored, because it was a free for all. But now they've declared a war on anonymity. They act like they're taking a moral stand. They're like, yes, good job. What was it, Andrew? Yeah, good job, Andrew. You're taking a brave stand against the use of anonymous profiles, right? They hate that. They hate it when you excuse me. They hate people who don't use their real face as their profile picture. Like, they hate that. Like, on Twitter, I don't use my face as my profile picture, right? I use a picture of, like, some raptor or something like that, some random picture I found. But they go after and they say, oh, look at this, hiding behind a profile picture. Yeah, it's the internet. That's what most people do. Just because you're big-time elitists and you have millions of dollars, so you can afford to put yourself out there, and you can afford to say whatever you want without consequences, doesn't mean that everyone else can. Just because you have millions and millions of dollars and you can say whatever the hell you want and nobody cares, doesn't mean that it's the same for everyone else. They're just elitists. That's all they are. I mean, honestly, they can say whatever they want. When you're a big account on Twitter, you can say whatever the fuck you want. Meanwhile, I can tweet out at the ACLU and call them retards, which they are. They're retards. I call the ACLU retards, and I get suspended on Twitter. The ACLU is like this gigantic corporation. I mean, they act like they're a grassroots organization. No, they're fucking not. They're not. They're just this big organization, a democratic organization, where they pretend like they're some sort of, like, law firm. Like, what are they? Are they like a weird law firm? Are they a grassroots activist organization? What are they? But no, they're this gigantic organization. They have so much money, so much power, and yet I say retard at them and I get suspended. Meanwhile, you can take a look at Trump's Twitter account. Look at the replies to his tweets. Look at all the nasty shit people say. And look, I don't care if you say nasty shit about the president, right? I don't care. But I do care about Twitter not enforcing its rules equally. Because it's ridiculous that you have all these verified liberal Twitter accounts that can say whatever the hell I want. Meanwhile, I say something to the ACLU, and I get suspended. So this whole CNN blackmail thing, it's part of a bigger story about tech companies and how much liberals just hate anonymity and how much they just hate internet freedom. They really hate it. I mean, they really despise it. And I mean, and even Twitter. Twitter buried the story, by the way. Because it was at #1 in trending for a long time. Then they started to move it down in trending. And they replaced it with stuff like Rob Kardashian. You know how I know they were burying it and how it wasn't just a natural thing? Because Rob Kardashian, at the time that it became #1 trending, it had 1,000 tweets. 1,000 tweets. #1 on trending. No, that's not how it works. You're obviously just trying to bury the CNN story. But no, they moved it further and further and further down throughout the day until eventually they just got rid of it. They got rid of it. Twitter Moments, which is meant to be like some highlight reel of like big news stories of the day. Twitter Moments, they didn't even have any mention of the CNN story whatsoever. Didn't even mention it. So, they're all in it together. I mean, the tech companies and the media and the Democrats, they're all in it together. They're all part of the same fucking whatever the hell you want to call it. Same thing. They're working together, and they're screwing you. It doesn't matter who you are. If you use the internet and you love internet freedom, well, they're gonna screw you. Because they despise internet freedom in every form.